Welcome to the Power Zone Sports Podcast. Today we're going to be talking about
divisional round action in the NFL playoffs.
Please like and subscribe, and I'm going to give this podcast to my brother.
Well, the divisional round of the NFL postseason started with a bang. The Atlanta Falcons, the defending NFC champions, are no more after they lost to the underdog Philadelphia Eagles 15-10, and Julio Jones coming up short in the end zone on 4th and goal, falling down in the end zone with time running out on the Falcons season to end the game. Philadelphia moving on, proving all the doubters wrong as they are moving on 15-10 over the Falcons. And in the Saturday night nightcap, Tom Brady and the Patriots, 3 touchdown passes by Tom Brady, as James White, Chris Hogan, and Rob Gronkowski all caught passes for touchdowns, as New England rolled to a 35-14 win over Tennessee. And the games that are going to take place today, Sunday, will be the Jaguars and the Jaguars and the Pittsburgh Steelers, and it will be the New Orleans Saints and the Minnesota Vikings. Now, people forget that the Jaguars went in and they have upset Pittsburgh in the postseason before, in January before. And in that performance in 2009, the Jaguars upset Pittsburgh. And can they do it again? Do they have one more upset in them? They got a huge win against Buffalo. Blake Bortles rushed for 89 yards, and he actually ran for more yards than he threw it for. But the Patriots moving on, and the Jaguars moving on over Buffalo. It was an impressive win, at least for the Jaguars. But is that performance going to get it done against Pittsburgh? Is that performance, Blake Bortles running for more yards than he had to throw it for, is that going to get it done? We will find out. And surely I think I have my doubts that performance can get it done against this defense. But it'll be very interesting to see now that James Harrison left the Steelers and signed with the Patriots. If the Steelers and the Patriots match up in the AFC Championship game, how that matchup will turn out. And James Harrison, who said, quote, "I'm not going to sit on the bench and collect a participation trophy," apparently he is now on the Patriots, and he had 2 big sacks in the final week of the season against the Jets on Jets quarterback Bryce Petty. And James Harrison looks like a new man in Foxborough. So good for James Harrison. He found a option that would work for him, and he's going to keep trying to win Lombardi trophies. He's 40 years old, and his career is pretty much just about over. So if he can win one more ring before he retires, more power to him. Of course, Steelers were saying that he had erased his legacy when he signed with the Patriots, and of course Steelers fans will never forget the 108-yard interception return for a touchdown that the Steelers' James Harrison did against Kurt Warner at the end of the first half of Super Bowl 43, when the Steelers won their 6th Super Bowl over Arizona in a game that was a very good Super Bowl in its own right. Super Bowl 43, the toe tap in the end zone by Santonio Holmes as he was able to snag that touchdown pass from Ben Roethlisberger, and the Steelers won their 6th Super Bowl title, and they might be on the run for ring number 7 when this is all said and done here. So and I want to talk about So we got that game tomorrow. The games tomorrow are going to be Jacksonville and Pittsburgh. And then the Saints taking on the Vikings. Saints and Vikings, that's going to be an interesting matchup in its own right. Because when you're this close to the Super Bowl. So my predictions for the games today are going to be the following. I'm going to predict that the Jaguars are going to lose to the Steelers. Pittsburgh will move on. And I'm also going to predict the Saints are going to move on. So I'm predicting the Saints, and I'm predicting the Steelers to move on. That'll be a Patriots-Steelers AFC title game. And it'll be a NFC title game with Philadelphia and New Orleans. So it'll be a very exciting Final Four if these predictions hold up. And cannot wait. The Super Bowl, so close. And the Vikings, of course, would love to host the Super Bowl in their own venue. But we'll see what happens. That team looks very good in its own right. And you can never count the Vikings out, I don't think. And if there's ever a team that deserves a Lombardi trophy, I think the Vikings are at the top of the list. And so we got that going on, and we got, I've been keeping up with the Major League Baseball. The news broke on the Chicago Cubs and Sammy Sosa. Apparently Tom Ricketts, the Cubs owner, said that Sammy Sosa needs to come clean about his role in the steroid era in order for the Cubs to welcome him back. And it's a bit odd that Sammy's a bit of a pariah in Chicago because of the way that he went out, the way that he left his last day of the season. Apparently he still believes he was given the okay to leave early the last day of the season. And apparently there were the rumors that a boombox was smashed in the clubhouse because he was playing his music too loudly. Sammy was a fan favorite at Wrigley, and he seemed to always play the game the right way, treat the fans with respect, treat the game with respect. But Sammy Sosa, unwelcome until he comes clean about his role in the steroid scandal. But Mark McGwire has a job in baseball as a hitting coach with the Cardinals and now with the Dodgers. Something is wrong with this picture, if you ask me. Finally tonight, I want to close my broadcast out. We have lost another legendary broadcaster. We have lost the legendary Keith Jaackson, the voice of Mr. College Football for generations of fans, and then also a voice for Major League Baseball back in the 70s for ABC. Keith Jaackson, Mr. College Football, the man known for his famous catchphrase, "Whoa, Nelly," and the man who was behind the microphone for one of the most exciting, his final broadcast, the 2005 Rose Bowl, when Texas stunned USC and defeated the number one team in the country, the Vince Young scamper for the end zone. And Texas upset USC to win the 2005 national championship. And that was the final game done by Keith Jaackson. Keith Jaackson, whoa Nelly, has passed away. And he was one of the greats, 89 years old. And we have lost Keith Jaackson. We've lost Dick Enberg, and now we've lost Keith Jaackson. We've lost two greats in the broadcasting industry already this year. 2018, not off to a good start for those who maybe grew up listening to these guys. It's a shame, but their calls and their games they did will live on. And Keith Jaackson, one of the best to ever be behind a microphone. And with that, I'm going to close the Power Zone podcast out today. Thanks for listening, and Please like, please subscribe. It's a labor of love here on the Power Zone Sports Podcast. And this is by a sports fan, for sports fans. And it's time for the sports fan to have a voice too. That's part of the reason why I do this. So, thanks for listening, and we'll catch you next time.
Thanks for listening to the Power Zone Sports Podcast. Please like and subscribe. That would help the channel a lot, and I will see you later. Bye.